Have you ever noticed how some people just can't handle it when you go quiet? They panic. They attack. They try everything to make you react. And the weirdest part? Your silence alone is enough to drive them crazy. Why does that happen? Today, we're diving into the psychology behind why your silence is a threat to insecure people. Stay with me, because this will change how you see confrontation forever. You know what's interesting? We live in a world that's obsessed with noise. Everyone's talking, arguing, defending, and explaining themselves constantly. But then there's you. You choose silence, and suddenly, you become the villain. People start calling you cold, arrogant, or manipulative. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. Your silence isn't the problem. Their insecurity is. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why that is. So let's break this down. First, silence removes their power. Insecure people thrive on reactions. They need your anger, your frustration, your tears, your defenses. That's how they feel in control. When they provoke you and you explode, they win. They get the validation that they matter, that they can affect you. But when you stay silent, you take that power away. You're not playing their game anymore. And that terrifies them, because without your reaction, they're left alone with their own emptiness. Think about it. Someone insults you, trying to get under your skin. They're waiting for you to snap back. But you just look at them calmly and say nothing. What happens? They get angrier. They push harder. Because your silence is a mirror. It reflects their own chaos on them. And they hate it. Second, silence reveals their intentions. When you stop defending yourself, something magical happens. People expose who they really are. Secure, confident people respect boundaries. They don't need you to react to feel important. But insecure people, they spiral. They make assumptions. They create stories in their head about why you're quiet. And then they attack those stories. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're in an argument with someone and you decide to step back and stop engaging. A secure person might say, "Okay, let's cool off and talk later." But an insecure person will bombard you with messages. They'll accuse you of being petty, of playing mind games, of not caring. They'll project all their fears onto your silence. And in doing so, they show you exactly who they are. Your silence didn't create their behavior. It just brought it to the surface. Third, silence forces self-reflection, and they're not ready for that. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Insecure people avoid looking inward. They stay busy blaming others, creating drama, and seeking attention because stillness scares them. When you go silent, you create space. Space for reflection. Space for truth. And they can't handle that. Your silence holds up a mirror that says, maybe the problem isn't them. Maybe it's you. And that's too painful for someone who's built their entire identity on being the victim or being right. So instead of reflecting, they lash out. They call you names. They twist the narrative. Anything to avoid facing themselves. But here's what you need to understand. That's not your burden to carry. You're not responsible for their inner work. Your silence is not cruelty. It's self-preservation. Fourth, silence shows emotional maturity, and that intimidates them. When you choose not to engage, you're showing restraint. You're showing that you don't need to win every argument or prove every point. You're comfortable with letting things be. And that level of emotional maturity is threatening to people who haven't reached it yet, because it highlights the gap between where they are and where you are. They're still stuck in reactive mode, while you've moved into intentional mode. And deep down, they know it. That's why they try to drag you back down. Misery loves company. Chaos loves participants. But you are refusing to participate? That's power. So what's the takeaway here? Your silence is not a weakness. It's a weapon. Not to hurt others, but to protect yourself. It's a boundary. It's a statement that says, I don't owe you my energy. And if that makes people uncomfortable, that's their issue, not yours. Insecure people will always try to pull you into their storm. They'll provoke, manipulate, and guilt trip you into responding. But the moment you stay silent, you take back control. You show them that their chaos doesn't define you. And more importantly, you give yourself peace. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced this? Have you noticed how your silence made someone spiral? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And if this video resonated with you, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more psychology and self-improvement content. Remember, silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. Stay strong, stay silent when you need to, and I'll see you in the next one.